going on, Vikings fans? Welcome on in the Vikings Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Patrick Siepman, here giving you guys my instant reaction to the Vikings Week 2 loss in the NFL preseason, where they dropped this one, 20-12 against the New England Patriots. There was mayhem to end this game. Max Brosmer thought he was going to lead a game-tying 2-minute drill, ended up throwing an interception in the back of the end zone, but then the guy fumbled for the Patriots, and Nesbitt fell on it. Ended up not being anything there. But it was still helter-skelter play to end that one there in Minnesota. But, hey, these preseason games are fun. I enjoy watching them, but I'm still just getting this itch for the regular season. So if you guys are fired up and you're excited to see J.J. McCarthy make his regular season debut in his hometown versus Chicago Bears, Monday Night Football, go down there, hit that thumbs-up icon. I put today's goal as 500 likes. So if you guys could help me out, make me look good for my bosses, hit that thumbs-up button if you guys are fired up for the regular season. So I do want to highlight the first half of today's show, talking about the backup quarterback position, because we have still yet to see a quarterback fully take it and be like, hey, I am no doubt your QB2 for the year. And we can start off with Sam Howell. He was just flat out awful today. I just felt like the Vikings offense stalled out way too much when he was out there on the field. The first possession, he had a 3rd and 4. They actually let Lucky Jackson go one-on-one on a slant route with Carlton Davis. Could not win that, but it still wasn't a great ball by Howell. And then that interception was possibly one of the worst throws I've seen in NFL history, at least one of the worst decisions that has been made in the NFL. He was rolling out to his left. He had pressure from the interior, and he stopped, and it looked like he was just going to, chuck it out of bounds, live to see another down. But I don't know if his arm strength wasn't strong enough to get it to the sidelines, resulted in an interception, or if he was trying to give Lucky Jackson a one-on-one opportunity. Either way, the decision was terrible. The arm talent was just obviously not there, and Sam just struggled today. And, why this is so concerning because, dating back to a couple of weeks during training camp, Brian Flores and this defense were really giving him a tough time, where people were saying Sam Howell might already be QB4 on this roster, with Brett Rypien looking better, Max Brosmer looking better, and then we saw him pop a little bit last week during the preseason, which was a great sign, but then we saw him regress this week. So, a lot of people, I'm sure an overreaction from this game would be like, hey, is the Vikings backup quarterback even on the roster right now? I'm not willing to go that far just yet, but still, not a good sign from the former North Carolina quarterback. Wish we would have seen a little more, but maybe the Vikes got to call up the Giants, maybe a little Jameis Winston. Maybe you try to get Andy Dalton. Maybe you try to send the Browns a pick for Joe Flacco. I don't know what the answer is, but not good from Sam Howell today. And, Brett Rypien looked better than what he did last week. I'll give him credit there, but still not good enough. Like the Vikings offense, also receivers drops were another major issue today. So, and especially for Brett Rypien's case, he had a couple of bad drops there. And he got through his progressions decent enough today, but we still never saw anything where it's like, hey, we're pushing the ball downfield. I feel like he can't attack the middle of the field whatsoever. Everything is either like a 5-yard out or just a drop-off to the running back or tight end for a screen. But that was also really the only time today where the Vikings could move the football was when they were setting up the screen game, or it was late in the first half, late in the game. But that whole middle chunk, the Vikings offense just stalled out. And I want to give most of the blame to the quarterback position. Yes, the offensive line, especially the 2s and 3s, did not look as good as they did this past week. But also, Rypien didn't really show me much as well. And we can get to the hometown hero here. Max Brosmer, he looks solid. I think I was expecting a little more from Brosmer. But again, the offensive line wasn't holding up too much today, especially when he was in there. That last interception came on the last play of the game when he was just trying to force a ball into the tight window, just give his receiver a chance. But he at least looked better than the other two. Like, I still feel like he's got better arm talent than Howell and Rypien. I feel like he sees the field a lot better. Like, you can physically see Brosmer compared to Howell and Rypien getting to his second and third progression, getting to those extra reads, which is obviously huge being an NFL quarterback, especially in the O'Connell system. So I don't really have a good answer on who QB2 is right now. I don't want to give it to Howell. I'm definitely not giving it to Rypien. I guess right now it's Mad Max, probably the QB2 for the Vikings, but so overall not good at the quarterback position today. At least Brosmer showed us something in the second half. A lot of those kind of came in, I call it garbage time or in those 2-minute drills late in the game, but I don't know. I'm not feeling too confident about this position group for the Vikings right now outside of McCarthy, but after 2 preseason games, pick a QB2. Give me a 12 for Brosmer, give me an 11 for Rypien, or give me an 8 for Sam Howell. Now we'll talk about the defense, talk about Xavier Scott. Felton impressed me a little bit today. But before we do so, I got to tell you guys about today's presenting sponsor, and that is Daily Greens by Factor Form. If you guys want to start your day right with Daily Greens by Factor Form, head on over to factor75.com/Vikings chat, and we'll hook you guys up with 40% off plus free shipping on your first order. Now, I've tried green supplements in the past, and I swore I was never going to try them again until I pivoted and tried Factor Form's Daily Greens for the first time. Now, most of us dread drinking greens in the morning, but Factor Form changed the game where you'll actually crave your greens. And as a sister brand, the Factor Meals, Factor Form was designed to work hand in hand with your meals, making better nutrition effortless. Daily Greens is a greens powder by Factor Form you look forward to drinking. Just one scoop delivers 100% of your daily nutrients, filling nutrient gaps, supporting whole body health, and helping you feel your best. And with a refreshing, citrusy, clean and smooth taste that's actually enjoyable to drink, all you got to do is mix a single-serve pack in water, and you're good to go. Now, my favorite part, in a blind taste test, Daily Greens ranked #1 in taste, texture, and aroma, beating out the biggest names in the industry. So start your day right with Daily Greens by Factor Form at factor75.com/Vikings chat. We'll hook you guys up with 40% off plus free shipping on your first order. That's factor75.com/Vikings chat for 40% off plus free shipping. Hit that link in the comment section and description of today's show, factor75.com/Vikings chat. All right, quickly here on the defense. I do want to give them some love. The second string defense was out there when they're going against the Patriots' first string unit. You actually were able to force them to punt on their first possession. I thought Tyrion Ingram-Dawkins got home a couple of times. I thought Gabe Murphy showed some flashes again, and also Zamia Vaughn had some plays. Taki Taimani, he had a couple of big plays, especially in the run game today. So we'll give some credit to the defense and some real look of some real football. When the Patriots had their first stringers out there, they were able to force a stop. Now, in the second drive, Travion Henderson ran all over him. He actually picked up a 3rd and 10 on a halfback draw where I was getting flashbacks from Jahmyr Gibbs and Ben Johnson of the Lions last year. So, even though the defense, nothing really too strong to write home about, I did feel like the second string unit just did enough to, slow up a Patriots first string offense, which should be one of the worst offenses in the league, but, still good signs heading that direction. Now, let's talk about the people's hero here, Xavier Scott. I still think he's the lead man for the RB3 position. I would still be stunned if he doesn't make this final 53-man roster. Now on the ground today, numbers aren't going to blow you away. 10 carries, 28 yards, but I felt like most of that was because of the offensive line. Patriots were super aggressive on early downs, trying to stop the Vikings running game. And, Xavier Scott, he didn't have a lot to work with, but he still falls forward every single time. Like, even if he's hit at the line of scrimmage, he'll still fight forward to get at least a 2-3 yard game, where a guy like Tai Chandler, he would just get stonewalled, and it could potentially be a 1-yard loss. But I also love the hands from Xavier Scott today. They set up a couple of running back screens for him, and he follows his blockers very, very well. This guy he feels like a veteran out there. He also had a couple of nice blitz pickups today, which was very, very promising considering Chandler. That's one of his weakest spots of his game. But 3 receptions for 44 yards. Look good there. And just every time this guy touches the football, I feel like it's a positive rush. It's a positive play. I'll be curious to see what his rushing yards over expected were today. Even though it was only 10 carries, 28 yards, I still feel like he got the most out of every single opportunity. But the guy's job who he's going to take here, it's going to be Tai Chandler. Now, he had 3 carries, 12 yards. I am stunned, first off, that the Vikings didn't give Tai Chandler more run today. At least just try to get him some good tape because, even if the decision is already made where he is not going to make that final 53-man roster, at least get some good tape out there for him, or maybe you could trade him for like a 6th, 7th round pick. Again, unlikely scenario, but I was just stunned that he was only out there for 2 drives. I thought they would have given him more run. I will give Ty credit. He had a pretty nice blitz pickup on the first drive of the game, so that was at least a good sign. But maybe we were overreacting to Xavier Scott a little bit, and the Vikings coaching staff has more faith in Chandler than we give them credit for. But still, just nothing wow from Tai Chandler's performance today. But Tim Jones ended up having a nice game. 5 receptions, 68 yards, had an unbelievable catch when Brosmer was trying to lead the Vikings offense down to tie the game at the end. It was on the left sideline, got both feet in. It was a contested catch, so positive there. And, we're just waiting for a guy to step up because, we're looking at the first 3 games of the season. You got Justin Jefferson. You got Jalen Naylor, who's also dealing with the hand injury. But besides that, You're looking at a Tim Jones, or you're looking at a Jayshon Jones, who also had a couple of nice plays today, 4 receptions for 39 yards. I think if they had to lean one guy, they would lean Tim Jones because of his special teams ability. But still, Jayshon, he's got a bigger target to him, bigger catch radius. I think, honestly, both these guys could end up making the roster. And also considering we haven't seen a whole lot of Silas Bolden in the receiving game. Now, yes, if they just view him as an all-worldly, punt, kick returner, he'll probably end up getting that 6th spot in the wide receiver room. But, nobody really stepped up except I guess I would probably consider Tai Felton. He had a couple of nice catches late in the first half. One specifically, it was tipped up when it was heading his way. He had the, reconcentrate, was able to catch the football, get both feet in. I thought that was a tremendous play. And then he also had a nice comeback route where it ended up being illegal contact on the defense, but he also still caught the football, showed great hands on that play as well. So if I had to say it, the 3 wide receivers for the first 3 weeks, no shocker, it'll be Jefferson, Jalen Nailor, Tai Felton rounding out the 3. And then once Addison comes back, then I can actually see a battle going between, Tai Felton and Jalen Nailor for that 3rd spot. But that hand injury for Nailor, that's going to be something to monitor because if he has to miss the first 3 games, I mean, what are we doing at the wide receiver spot? Like maybe it's a lot of 2 tight end sets where Hawk is playing de facto receiver and you're having Josh Oliver play almost every single down. I'll just be curious to see how KOC ends up handling it. But I am happy, though. Tai Felton showed us some flashes, and that's all you could really ask for out of a 3rd-round pick. But I will give credit. Nick Vannett, Vikings picked him up a couple of weeks ago. Showed something in the receiving game at the tight end position. Again, no Gavin Bartholomew out there. And also Ben Urasek, didn't see him out there today as both those guys are dealing with injuries. So, again, they're looking for another guy to step up for that tight end 3 position. Even though the Vikings have kept 3 to 4 tight ends on the roster the last 3 seasons under O'Connell, maybe that could change, and they're only keeping 2. But if I had to put money on it, it would probably be Vannett to get that 3rd tight end spot. Unless they would just give it to Bartholomew since they spent a 6th-round pick on him. But we'll see. I think preseason week 3 will be a great tell for that tight end 3 spot. But we appreciate you guys watching today's show. Again, no massive takeaways. Besides just the QB2 position, maybe the Vikings need to get another guy. But again, no massive takeaways. End up dropping this one. But if you guys made it to the end of today's show, hit me the skull down below in the comment section. Hit that subscribe button on your way out. Winners and losers from this game coming tomorrow. And we'll see you guys next time. As always, Skol Vikes.